Mabuhay everyone, MARKCHES here. Welcome to the channel, and for today's video, we will be talking about the performance review of the 361 AG2, which is Aaron Gordon 2 version 2. So guys, if you want to cop this pair, I'll be putting an affiliate link down below. If you want to cop this 361 Aaron Gordon 2 or the AG2 in the version 2, and if you have been following my channel, you know I have the version 1 of the AG2, which is here. So this is the version 1. I got the iridescent colorway, which is all black. We will be also comparing them both, between the main difference between the version 1 and the version 2. Let's start off with the upper of the version 2. This upper of the version 2 features a quick skin. That's what they are calling it, quick skin here. And the first impression and the first thing that I noticed about the upper, especially comparing it with the version 1, is how thin the materials are on the version 2. It is a ripstop material with some net-like mesh underneath around the toe area of the AG2 version 2, while on the side it also has that ripstop material that is translucent. And there are some fusing and print on the ripstop material to make, I think it also helps out in making the material stronger and more durable. While on the toe area, it still is very soft. It has a very nice shape to it. So on top of the toe area is this blue fabric underneath the ripstop material, which is also very soft. It's very comfortable around your foot. And there's some extra panels under that jersey-like mesh, which gives the sneaker a very nice form, especially around the toe area, so that it won't fold up easily. If you can hear that. And there's some harder plastic around here to give a little bit more durability on the forefoot area, plus of course lateral support, and especially for lateral toe drags. When you're doing that, it will give the version 2 extra durability there. So as for lateral support, like I've said, while I was doing lateral cuts on the AG2, it felt really nice. I really felt my feet really cage up in the footbed and scraping my foot really well. Plus, this foam also goes up and cages your foot laterally too, so it really helps out in the lateral support of the AG2. And comparing the forefoot part material of the AG2 version 2 to the AG1, the AG1 has this material which is the 3 plus bi-cage, or bi-cage, or the 3 plus cage, which is written here. And the material used here on the version 1, it is a different textile material. It's a lot thicker compared to the version 2, and you can see there's a lot of wires that are it's like a honeycomb shape to it that gives extra texture and durability to the upper of the version 1, plus a lot of fusing from the lateral part. So you can see here, the shiny part is an extra overlining material, plus there's a fusing on top of it. Even on the middle part, there's a lot of fusing. The mid part of the sneaker also has that fusing here. So the main difference is, if you want really a very strong material and a very durable material to the AG2s, you would choose the version 1. But if you are maybe a lighter guard, a faster guard, you will like the materials more on the version 2 because it's a lot lighter material. It's still very supportive, but if you want that maximum support on the AG2s, get the version 1. But the only downside is I weighed them earlier, and the AG2, even on hand, the version 1 is heavier compared to the version 2. The version 2 is 450 grams. This is almost 500 grams. So 50 grams difference between the two. And you can really feel it on hand that this is heavier. The tongue part of the sneaker is made out of this jersey-like mesh too that's like found in the forefoot part. And it is padded. It's very comfortable. There's a lot of ventilation on the tongue, and it's not too hot, and it's very comfortable on top of your foot. And the lacing system on the version 2 is quite different from the version 1, because on the version 1 it has this strap like that is stitched to the upper of the AG2. You can see that it is stitched there, while on the version 2 You can see these cables that cages your foot, and when you pull it, your foot will be pulled down to the footbed, giving you a very nice secure fit to the AG2 version 2, and also adds up to the lateral support to the sneaker. And it doesn't just go on the wires, but it also goes around the upper material of the AG2. So it's really nice. So it adds a little bit more durability to the lacing system, and it doesn't just go around the upper of the AG2. And the edge of the lacing system of the AG2, it's nice if used from both sides of the sneaker. Now moving on to the back part of the version 2s, it is also made out of this textile material and is padded. Even at the back, it has this foam-like padding at the back of the AG2 version 2, which on the version 1, it's made out of leather on this black pair. I hope you can see it. There's a logo here of the AG or Aaron Gordon 2, while on the other pair, it doesn't have on the version 2. But as for the inner lining and padding, both are the same, and even the shape around the heel is also the same. So mainly the main difference are the materials around the heel part of the sneaker. And the padding of the AG2 version 2 is really nice, very similar to the version 1. It's nicely padded. There's a lot of padding around the heel and ankle collar, but the version 2 also has a very nice heel containment and lockdown to it. There's no heel slippage on the version 2. For the insole, it has a ordinary insole, but it's still very comfortable below your foot. And now moving on to the cushion part of the AG2 version 2, it also has a similar foam setup compared to the version 1. It has a neo foam organ, the forefoot, which is really bouncy and really plush. I mean, I was really surprised on the version 1. I really like playing on the version 1's cushion. For a cushion setup, if you want some of the comfiest foams, and it still gives you a very nice bounce back feel to it, and very nice impact protection. I mean, one of the best impact protection on a foam setup in a basketball sneaker. You should try the AG2 from the first version to the second version. They have amazing cushion setup. And as for the heel cushion, it is made out of this quick foam, which is similar to the version 1 too. And it's very plush. It has a very plush foam to it. So for all of you who doesn't like this kind of setup, I mean, it's one of the best impact protection that I've tried in a foam. I remembered on the fast break of mine, I did a really hard heel stop, and man, I really felt the foam compressing down my heel and really helping out my knee. But it doesn't have that faster spring back compared to the neo foam organ in the forefoot. So that on the heel, it compresses more, but there's a slight delay going up. But usually you always use your forefoot to jump. That's why the responsiveness and the spring back is mostly on the foam of the forefoot part of the sneaker, especially on this AG2 version 2s. Plus holding the foam is the quick balance plate here that is wrapped from the midfoot going around the middle part of the sneaker. Plus there's a plastic piece here, the XX what's this? XX skeleton that is like a fork here that gives recoil to the sneaker and gives the AG2 stability and torsional support. Now let's move on to the outsole of the AG2. They both have the same outsole. It has the same outsole too to the AG2 version 1, and it is a very dependable traction. It grips in almost all surface, even on a dusty floor. On a very clean court, it sticks really hard and it squeaks a lot. For all of you who like squeakiness in their sneakers, this one squeaks a lot, grips really hard on the floor. And I mean, even on, I think for outdoor use, this traction will also be very nice. The rubber is really hard. Even though the grooves are not that deep, it still is really hard, still made out of very hard rubber. So I think outdoor use for the AG2 version 2 will be very good, especially with this kind of cushion setup, which has a very nice impact protection from the forefoot and heel, and still gives you a very nice spring back in the forefoot. This will be very ideal for outdoor use. Another feature that I really like on the AG2 version 2 is this lateral outrigger that is really protruding out here, and it really gives stability to the sneaker. Look at how exaggerated the outrigger is on the AG2. That is what I like about the AG2. Even on the AG1s, it has a very exaggerated lateral outrigger that really gives you extra stability in the forefoot of the sneaker. There's also a nice window of the Neo foam organ here at the bottom of the outsole, where you can compress the Neo foam organ. It is very responsive and very springy. So as for the sizing of the AG2 version 2, I got this a US 10 and it fits me nicely. Although on the version 1, I also got a US 10. I think this is 45, or no, 44, Euro 44 for both. But on the version 1, I felt that my toes is really jamming up on the forefoot part of the version 1. While on the version 2, it has a nicer fit to me. So it may be because of the shape of the sneaker plus the materials. The materials on the version 2 is a lot thinner. So I think that made my feet fit better on the version 2 compared to the thicker material on the version 1s. So for the price of the AG2 version 2, I got this at around 4,000 pesos. There's a discount to it on this sneaker. So, I mean, if you want to try a different brand, a Chinese brand too, that is really bang for your buck. I mean, this is a really surprising, awesome performing basketball sneaker for its price point. I like playing them, especially on this kind of foam setup. I really like the foam setup on the AG2s. The foam is not too thick, it's not too thin, but still very responsive, which I really like. It kind of reminds me on the All City 10, and that I'm also enjoying too, but the All City 10 is twice the price of the AG2s. So the AG2s is an awesome performer, and if you're more on the budget, I mean, check this out and try it. So this has been MARKCHES once again. Thank you for dropping by the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.